Arthur Taylor, the author of Pub Games, joins us now in the studio, along with Joe, because you're a big fan of the pub games as well.
I am, yes. I've partaken in pub games.
Never.
Yes. Very popular, isn't it? Interestingly, about your book, we can take a look at your book, actually,
yes,
if we can get that down now. It's a rewrite, is it? Played at the pub?
It's not a rewrite, it's a new edition.
New edition?
Yeah.
But back in 1976, was it?
I wrote the first one in 1976, a Guinness book in 92, and this one. But that's much bigger.
Okay.
Because there's so much to learn. It's only a sketch map, even now.
What do you think it is then, Arthur? Because I always thought that people went to the pub for a bit of a chat and a drink. What is it about pub games that are so important to the heritage, I guess, in the
It's
UK?
a certain sort of pub, isn't it? I mean, we all go on about how wonderful pubs are, when a lot of them are absolutely terrible. I'm talking about 1 in 10 pubs that serve a community, where you have a notice board with activities going on, where there's a charity jar, where there's friendship, and games is part of that. It's conviviality, that's all.
And it's bonding as well for a lot of people, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
OK, so what would you say the most popular games that have really stood the test of pub game times?
Well, darts is still the obvious most popular game, I believe, still played in 53% of pubs, but that's the London board. We have our own board in Manchester, which is quite a different animal, as you probably know.
What's the popular one in Manchester, then?
It's called the Manchester board, would you believe? It's much smaller. It goes from 1 to 20, but with a different sequence. It doesn't have trebles, and you don't see it because it's a log end board and it's kept in water until it's time to put it up. So you've got to be in the right pub on the right night at the right time.
Alpha, can I pick you up on something that's in that book, actually? Apparently you can shoot a gun in a pub somewhere in England.
That's right.
Without getting thrown out.
In part of Dorset and Somerset and Worcestershire. This was prior to the First World War. People like Baden-Powell were very anxious that the skills of soldiers weren't as good as they should have been in the Boer War. So he wanted to train them to shoot. So air rifles was the answer, or small guns. And 1 or 2 leagues still exist, shooting down tubes in public houses. Quite safe.
Now, I have to admit, Arthur, I've never played a pub game. I'm good at the drinking side of it, but not so much
pool?
No, rarely pool or even anything like that. If I was going to start, just as a novice pub gamer, what would you advise is a good thing to start with?
Oh, dear, I don't know. It depends what sort of person you are. I mean, you're a cerebral thinking person or atavistic knocking things down person?
Have you got a good arm?
I've got a good arm. Maybe dominoes. How about that for
well,
a
that's the
starter?
thinking game. I was going to say Skittles. That's a real crude pleasure, knocking things down, you know.
OK.
Rough and ready. Eh?
We look forward to...
Maybe that's not you.
No, not quite so rough. We look forward to leafing through the book. Thank you so much,
Thank you very
Arthur
much.
Taylor, for coming in today.